Okay, so the topic is all about the art history of Module 12. We have here the objectives that we need to meet at the end of the lesson to examine the history of art from the prehistoric period to the contemporary society and to enumerate the style of art. Okay, before we proceed to different styles of art, art is created or was created for many reasons, and it is created and enjoyed by many people, such as it serves as commemoration of an important event. Aside from that, it also convey intense emotion, and it's a powerful means of storytelling. Okay, that's why art was created. And now let's proceed to the style of art. We have here the Baroque style. Baroque style prevailed in Europe during the 17th and 18th centuries and was characterized by elaborate and grotesque forms and ornamentation. And it employs diagonal and zigzag lines that best express the vitality and movement quality of the Baroque art. Okay, so Baroque art was started in Europe in the 17th to 18th century, and it rapidly spread to other nearby country like France, Italy, yes, Spain, Portugal, and to Austria. And it was being said that this style of art was more impressive because of it is rich with curves rather than the symmetry or the proportion. And also it displays dramatic effect. Okay, just like in our example. So here, the art was lot more of emotional and dramatic, and the colors were lighter and were bright. Another style of art, we have the Gothic art. Here, Gothic architecture is still started in Europe. It originated in the middle of the century and characterized by pointed arch and rib vault, and it illustrates the symbol and expression of faith. So, meaning it is usually characterized as a style of masonry building. And the typical features of their architectural design, we have here the rib vault. Rib vault meaning the architecture, this is to cover a large interior space in a building. Another feature is the flying buttresses. It is composed of an arch that extends from the upper portion of the wall. And another features, we have also stained glass windows were also common in their architecture. Another type or style of art is during the Renaissance. Renaissance art is the period of economic progress where cities were built. The term Renaissance came from the French language meaning rebirth. It promotes the rediscovery of literature and art. So here, it gives emphasis more on the symmetry and the proportion and also geometry design, as well as the use of semicircular arches and domes. That's Renaissance art. Then we also have modern art. Modern art is characterized by contemporary style or present styles of visual art music, and literature. It emphasizes individual experimentation and sensibility. It marked the advancement of science and technology. That's why it is called modern art.
Ma'am,
Yes, hello.
for example is Andy Warhol.
Okay. So the term is usually associated with art in which the traditional of the past have been thrown aside. So there's a rejection of history and conservative values just in the spirit of experimentation and innovation. Innovation or experimentation of shapes, colors, lines to make up the entire artwork. Okay, that's modern art. Now let's proceed to the styles and other styles of art. We have the Expressionism, Surrealism, Realism, Impressionism, Cubism, and Abstract. Okay, so first we have the Expressionism. It is a manner of painting and sculpturing in which natural forms and colors are, take note, distorted and exaggerated. So here, the artist accomplishes his aim through distorting the lines and shapes and through strong and exaggerating of colors to have intense emotion through dynamic application of those mentioned elements. So the artist here explored dramatic themes to convey inner feelings. Example of themes are fear, hallucination, anxiety, what else? War, brutal, and many more. Those themes belongs to expressionism, meaning they did not depict the reality but rather the subjective or the expression of emotions. Another style is surrealism. It is a style of art and literature stressing the subconscious or non-rational and significance of imagery. It focuses on the idea of unconscious desires, just to dig deeper into the mind and to find inspiration for creative or for artistic creativity. So in other words, this style of art aim for liberation of mind. And they believe that the rejection of those rational thoughts would lead us to superior ideas and expressions. So some features of this style of art were dreamlike scenes, fantasies, hallucinations, other symbolic images, and distorted figures, just like in our example. That's surrealism. So the difference between these two are expressionism. In expressionism, the artist gives emphasis on the personal feelings or emotions, while in surrealism, the artist gives what? The liberation of the mind. Okay? Now let's proceed to realism and impressionism. Realism is based on from the word real, meaning real or everyday life or activities. So the artwork has an accurate and very detailed depiction of nature, for example, or a present life activities. So it concerned on the treatment of forms, colors, space as they appear in actuality or ordinary visual experience. It associated with social consciousness and transformation occurring during the period. So in general, realism is concerned on the reality of life. That's realism. We also have impressionism. Impressionism is characterized by short, brisk strokes of bright colors used to recreate the impression, this time the impression of light on objects. It describes a style of painting. Actually, it developed in France during the mid to late 19th century. So here, it gives emphasis on the accuracy depiction of natural light. So the artists of this style of art are not trying to paint the reflection of real life, but an impression of what the subject look like to them. That's why the colors are so vibrant. And yes, as you can see, it's relatively small, thin, but it's visible. That's impressionism. They are more particular with the color. Then we also have the Cubism and abstract style of art. Cubism, it emphasizes on the formal structure of a work of art and the reduction of natural forms of their geometrical equivalent. This style of art aims to show us the possible viewpoints of a person on the object. And this type or style of art was the first modern art. Okay, and because the subject represented in the artwork look like what it made out of cubes and also other geometrical shapes, that also makes the artwork stand out. Another one is the abstract style of art is a logical extension of cubism with its fragmentation of the object. So the goal here in this type of or style of art is to change the perception of reality. So meaning it gives us a new perspective, a new dimension, and the artists here are very skilled in reproducing what they have seen. In other words, this style of art, the abstract style of art, will give us the freedom to what? To explore and give our own meaning to our piece of art or to the piece of art. So there's a liberation, rather. There's a liberation, especially in the application of lines, the application of colors, and also the shape, and also the proportion or the symmetry, the texture, and all other elements. So it's up to us on how we apply those elements based on our own understanding and meaning to produce an artistic artwork. That's abstract. Okay, so those are the topic under this module 12. So thank you for listening.